Frequent Miler on the Air starts now. Today's main event, defending yourself from Amex's war on gaming. First, of course, we have the giant mailbag. Let's see what kind of feedback we have in store for us today.
All right. What's going on today? What do we have? What are the people saying today?
All right. So today's...
Besides the fact that they're saying that we clearly both got the memo on the black shirt day. By the way. We coordinate on these
Definitely
things.
Black Shirt Day. For
Black Shirt
those
Day,
listening, make sure you're wearing a black shirt. Okay.
All right. So what else? What else are people saying?
This one is from Apple Podcasts Reviews, and this is from A. Rodney. Not just any Rodney, A. Rodney.
A. Rodney.
A. Rodney.
Okay.
A. Rodney says, a great podcast to learn the ins and outs and ups and downs of the points and miles hobby. Greg and Nick do a great job of discussing and debating all things points and miles. If you're new or an old pro, there's no doubt you'll learn something new each week. They can, on occasion, dwell on a topic longer than needed to get the larger point across, but it doesn't completely take away from the overall listening experience. Thanks, guys, and keep up the good work. So just thought I'd throw out some good positive feedback there.
There you go. All right. I'm glad you're enjoying it, A. Rodney, and we'll try not to dwell on anything for too long today.
Let's dwell away. All right. He said it still works out well.
It works out well.
As long as it's enjoyable.
Enjoys the dwelling. Yeah, there you go. It's entertaining.
All right.
Good stuff. Glad to hear it.
Do we have anything good from City this week?
Well, this week we're renaming the segment, What Crazy Thing Did Marriott Do This Week?
Oh, exciting. What crazy thing did Marriott do this week?
Well, I don't know. Is it Marriott or Amex? I don't know. Yeah. I guess I got to give the credit to Amex.
I think they collaborated on this one.
Yeah, a combination. So this week we saw new offers come out on the Amex Marriott cards. So that's the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant, the $450 card, and the Amex Bonvoy Business card. And so the new offers have a bunch more points than normal. But the interesting piece of the offer on top of the fact that there's some additional points is that either of those cards come with a year of platinum status. Now, the offer says that it comes with complimentary platinum status for the 2021 membership year. So, Greg, tell me, what is the 2021 membership year?
Well, as we know from reading the fine print of the offer, it is February 1 through end of January, February 1 of 2021 through end of January 2022. And so...
What is up with that?
No platinum status for you until February 1st, even if you sign up for the card now.
Right. You sign up for the card now, and they're saying one of those benefits you're going to get with the card is status that you don't get until 3.5 months from now. And January of 2021 is not part of the 2021 membership year.
Right.
So, good luck to them explaining to the people who call in who are like, why don't I have status in 2021? And they're like, well, yeah, but it's not really 2021 until February 1st.
Yeah. So, it's normal for elite programs to have these membership years that are offset from the calendar year, and that there's nothing surprising about that. But the surprising thing here is it's also normal that once you achieve status, you even if it's before that membership year started, you keep that status from that point all the way till the end of the membership year. So it's weird. I can't think of any other case where you can get status. You can sort of qualify for status now. That's by signing up for the card, but not actually get that status until the next membership year starts. So,
not even, yeah. And to be clear, the next membership year we're saying starts on February 1st, right, not on January 1st. And that, good luck to them in explaining that to people, because I find that people already, like readers, frequently have trouble wrapping their mind around the fact that you're earning status this year really for next year. So you get it for the rest of this year because that's what they do. They give it to you for the rest of the year and then all of the following year. Like that concept already blows people's minds, I find, in general, in like determining when they're earning status for. So I think now when you try to tell people that they have 2021 status, but January is not part of their 2021 status, good luck explaining that on the phone, Amex. Nobody's going to get that.
Yeah. Their only hope is that people aren't going to be staying at Marriott's anyway, and that's it.
That is the only hope for them, I guess. Which might work out.
I don't know if it will or not. But yeah, it's weird. But this takes us right into our Mattress Running the Numbers segment, because we're going to talk Marriott. I think it was last week we talked about a short-term opportunity to book Marriott stays off peak, and so it was possible to mattress run, book these stays with whether or not you actually want to stay there, for as little as 4,000 points per night, and and we actually both said under the right circumstances that made sense to do in order to earn platinum status. Well, now you could get that same platinum status if you're willing to wait till February. You could get that same platinum status just by signing up for a card. So did we steer people awry last week?
No. No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know if you'll have the same argument that I will. First, before I make my argument, do you agree with me that we didn't lead people awry?
No, I want to hear why.
Okay.
Why
all
you
right.
think
So
not? Yeah.
Couple of reasons. A, you got to pay $450 for the card. Now you do get $300 in credit that can be used at Marriott hotels. So I guess it's a net $150. But if you look at it that way, if you look at the Marriott credit is same as cash, which I guess, if you're going to consider a $450 Marriott card, hopefully you do. But my initial reaction was, anyway, if you're going to pay $450, I mean, you can probably get those nights for less than the $450. But I guess now that I'm saying it out loud, since it comes with the credit, maybe getting the card is more reasonable than I was about to say. However, the additional piece of it is that I believe that the platinum status you get from having the credit card will not include a choice benefit. So the choice benefits are, when you get to 50 nights, you can get 5 Suite Night awards. And that, to me, is one of the reasons to go after platinum status. Not the only reason, because those things don't always clear. We've talked about that before, and how those aren't something you can count on, kind of like you can with Hyatt. It's a lot different with Marriott.
Right.
But I don't think you're going to get the choice benefits. So you are going to get breakfast, lounge access, and your 4 p.m. checkout. But no, I think I would probably, if you're like 5 to 7 nights short and you can get that for 20,000 points, I'd probably still mattress run that and take the Suite Night awards also, rather than pay $450 for the credit card.
All right. What do you here's why I think we didn't steer people wrong. Okay. The reason is that the whole idea that you could mattress run 5 to 7 nights and get platinum status was predicated on the fact that a lot of people have both a business and a consumer Marriott card already. And so because of that, and because they have gold status, at least gold status last year, they have 43 elite nights right now, even if they didn't stay at Marriott's at all. If they stayed a couple nights, they're 5 away from platinum, which is 50 nights, which requires 50 nights. So if you already have those cards, you can't qualify for these new bonuses anyway.
You're right. I walked into that one. You're absolutely right. So no, we didn't lead anybody astray.
But I do think that, if someone was in the position of having earned those elite nights the hard way, and also took our advice to mattress run the last 5 or 7 or whatever it was, then I mean, I think it's kind of a waste, because I think that the business card especially is a good deal, and if you can qualify for it, you might as well sign up for it, because obviously you stay at Marriott's a lot, so you'd benefit from having an extra 15 elite nights every year that the business card would give you, and the 100K points, that's no slouch of an offer, and then getting platinum status for free as part of that would be pretty cool. It's a good.
You might be right, and the more I think about it, actually, when you say it, when you're talking out loud, and I had more of a second to think about it, I guess I think actually you're right that signing up for the credit card is a better idea. And I'm going to add a reason why, because I just said a minute ago that getting those Suite Night awards is, a nice part of getting the 50 nights. But the more I think about it, I think those are going to be totally useless next year, because everybody and their brother's cousin's next door neighbor's dog is going to have platinum status, right? I mean, between all the nights that they gifted people, and now the credit cards coming with it, Amex credit cards coming with it, everybody's going to be, if you want to be platinum and you're not platinum for next year of all years, then you didn't really want to be platinum with Marriott, right? So you didn't want it bad enough if you're not going to have it for next year. So like, everybody's going to be platinum. I think the chances of a Sweet Night award like even clearing as a platinum member next year is slim. That's my
maybe.
bet.
Although I think you could argue it the other way too, which is if there's so many platinums rolling around and you want an upgrade, you better apply that Sweet Upgrade Award because you're not going to have any chance at check-in.
Getting in a check-in.
You could argue it either way, I think.
True. That's true. Yeah. So all right. So there you go. You got it both ways. So is it mattress runnable? If you're still a few nights short, I mean, I guess it's up to you. But the credit cards, I think, are interesting if you didn't already have an easy path to status. And even if you did, they might still be interesting. So now, but the thing here, the other thing, are they more interesting than the Chase card? Like if you qualify for both, is that
I think
the Amex?
So I need to tell you something that I had sort of an aha moment today. You know, we've talked before about how you need a PhD to figure out the rules for signing up for Marriott cards because they're so complicated. But I realized something this morning, which is that all the complications come from Chase. So if you don't have any Chase Marriott cards and never have had any, then the rules are pretty simple. You could get both of the Amex cards and get the sign-up bonuses on both. If you've ever had either one before, you're not allowed to get it again, or at least not allowed to get the sign-up bonus for it again. So it's pretty straightforward on the Amex side. The weird thing is having any Chase Marriott card messes you up for both the business and consumer Amex one, whereas it's not this. It's not true.
Same the other way around.
Yeah, same the other way. So anyway, I think so. I think based on thinking it through that way, one advantage to going with the Amex offers instead of the Chase offer, which is the 5 free nights, by the way, is that you could then very easily, without a lot of consulting gurus and everything, figure out how to get both a consumer and business Marriott card, which is just get them both from Amex and you don't have to worry about it. If you get the one from Chase, then it gets really complicated. Then there's also the thing you brought up before, which is that the Chase offer, the main benefit, the 5 free nights, only good for 1 year. Maybe they'll extend it for another year. We don't know. Whereas this is points. So yeah, I think there's a case to be made anyway. If you really want 5 nights and you know you'll use them next year, though, that's an awfully good offer, and that'd be hard to turn down.
Yeah, I mean, so let me ask you this: if they didn't have the platinum status coming with the Amex versions of the Marriott cards, or if you already have platinum status, so that benefit isn't important to you,
right?
Would you still pick Amex over the Chase, over the 5-night offer? 100. So right now the Brilliant's going to be, what is it today? It's 125,000 points on the. Well, it's not even really that. It's 100,000 points on the Brilliant. And then after your first anniversary, they're going to give you 25,000 points more. But if we know anything about the way Amex has been doing free night certs and things like that, it's not going to be until long after your anniversary date, until after you've paid your annual fee, that you see those 25,000 points probably. So really it's 100K after meeting minimum spend on the business card or on the Brilliant card. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you don't need the platinum status, would you take the 100K offer over 5 nights that can be up to 50K points each?
Well, if it wasn't for all the complexities of getting Marriott cards and worrying about your long-term strategy, then I'd say it's pretty simple. If you're very, very likely to use those 5 free nights for good effect, then that's a way better offer. Because I mean, wow, it's worth up to 250,000 points in nights, sort of. We talked before about how the 5th night free benefit doesn't really apply. So let's call it 200,000 points. So it's sort of equivalent to both of those other offers combined, but the other offers, you could get the points and use them whenever and in any way you want. If you prefer to stay at 25K per night properties, then you actually 100K will get you 5 nights at a 25K a night property with the 5th night free. So and then you could do it anytime you want. It doesn't have to be within a year. So it really depends on what your expected use is, and then I think you should add in your long-term strategy. If your goal is to get, if you think you're going to be staying at Marriott's often in the next however many years, there's a real benefit to having both a consumer and business Marriott card. And that is that you get a total of 30 elite nights each year to start with. And so you only need 20 more each year to get to platinum status, which has all the good like breakfast benefits and stuff. So, if you're thinking through your long-term strategy, then you might prefer the Amex route, even if the sign-up bonus isn't quite as good for you.
There you go. You have it straight from Greg there. So yeah, I think that all makes a lot of sense. So
the closest there is to a PhD in Marriott sign-up offers. I should start a course.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you might as well give yourself a PhD, and I was going to question it.
In my own Greg's College of Marriott sign-up offers. Yeah.
Frequent Miler University. All right. So that brings us then, I think, to the main event. So speaking of Amex, we're just talking about Amex. Amex has had some hot new referral offers where if you refer somebody from one of your Amex consumer cards, so it's not the business cards, but one of your Amex consumer cards, you may have an offer. You have to log in and check because I think it might be somewhat targeted, but you probably have an offer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So to get both a referral bonus that you would normally get, however many points that is, which varies from card to card as to what your referral bonus normally is. But then on top of that, they're giving you 3 points per dollar on a referral for 3 months, unlimited, uncapped.
Right.
That's pretty exciting.
That is it's very exciting. I mean, so my wife's gold card has already been triggered with that offer. So she's now earning 4 points per dollar minimum for all spend. Minimum. Right. Because it earns 4x for dining and grocery stores. That's 7x. So it's big points, 3 months. But a number of people have said to me, not that interested because I think that I'll spend a lot and then they'll claw back all the points.
Big temptation is what I was going to say. It's big temptation. That's what it is. Yeah.
Right. A big temptation. And you might end up with nothing or worse than nothing. You spent a lot and didn't get any of the bonus points. So that is a realistic fear because Amex has done that in the past. In fact, not that long ago with the big grocery bonus. The Hilton cards and I think Delta cards, I can't remember what other cards, had grocery bonuses where they were earning extra points at grocery stores. And a lot of people were buying gift cards at grocery stores and Amex clawed back points. I think in many cases, they also just never gave the points, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, so, people just didn't get any points for lots and lots of spend in some cases.
Right. And this is just an ongoing part of Amex's evolving war on gaming that we've written about a number of times on the blog, where they've done things like they stopped awarding points for Simon Mall gift card purchases. They shut people down for referring themselves. There have been a lot of different things that have happened, but a lot of the focus has been on trying to prevent people essentially buying gift cards that they can turn into money. And so if that's your only way of ramping up spend, then I think it's a very legitimate fear. So what we decided for the main event today is talk not just about that +3 offer, but also Amex has a lot of products where big spend produces big rewards, often in the form of elite status, but also other things. So just to name some examples, Delta. As you know very well, my wife and I spend really big on Delta cards each year to get top tier diamond status. And that's something that you can't do with any other of the major airlines, but you can do with Delta American Express cards. Hilton, you can earn status from spend, or you can earn free nights from spend with some of their cards. Marriott, with the Brilliant card, you can earn platinum status. So you don't need to if you're signing up new right now, but in general, $75K a year will get you platinum status. And there's also the Marriott business card will give you a free night with, I think it's $60K spend, something like that. So those are just there's probably some others that I didn't catch, but I think that covers most of them. So
Right.
all of those things, those are kind of big, in many cases, really big carrots they're waving in front of our face. But it's really scary if you do a lot of spend and you don't end up getting those rewards. So what kind of things can you do that are safe? I mean, obviously, regular everyday spend is safe. They want to encourage that. That's why they're giving you bonus points, because they want you to be spending more. They just don't want you to spend
on the things that they don't want you to spend on.
Right.
Kind of reminds me of that scene. Have you ever seen the movie Love Actually, or what's his name? Billy Bob Thornton plays the American president. They're negotiating with the British government. He says, "I'll give you anything you want, as long as it's something I want to give."
Right.
So everyday spend is as long as it's everyday spend that they like.
Exactly.
So yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So what are some of the things we can do? Obviously, you can spend, like Greg said, you got to go to the mechanic and fix your car. You can spend money on that, or, you got to do this or that, or pay for things that are legitimate. Then, those are probably fine. But what are some of the out of the box ways to kind of ramp up your spend? What can you do? I mean, you obviously do a lot of this. So what are some suggestions that you have for people?
Right. So, some of the things that I do and I've talked about before are like paying taxes. That's always, they charge 1.87% or 1.89%. I forget the decimal place, but to pay with a credit card. And you can always overpay and you'll get the money back eventually when you next file your taxes. A lot of these things I'm going to mention, by the way, you can only realistically do up to the amount that you can float. Keep paying your credit card bill off, even though you haven't gotten the money back yet. So the taxes is a good example. That's best to do big time right before you file your taxes, so that it minimizes the amount of time before you get the overage back. But if you have plenty of cash floating around, it's something you can do.
Right. And particularly with these shorter term things, or things that you need to get done by the end of the year, then you only have to float it for a few months potentially. If you file your taxes relatively early, then hopefully you won't have to float it for more than a couple of months anyway, assuming you get that back.
Right.
So that's certainly one good method. And Greg mentioned the 1.87% through the tax payment processors. But then of course you can also make tax payments through plastic, however you say it, which wouldn't be appealing if you're paying the 2.85% credit card fee. But if they run a promo, keep your eye out for those kinds of things. I don't know about anything coming, but they have in past years run promos at different times where you might be able to get a certain amount of fee-free dollars one way or another. Sometimes it's been make X number of payments and you get fee-free dollars. Sometimes it's with a MasterCard, which wouldn't help you with your Amex, but always worth keeping an eye out for those opportunities too, because you can send tax payments through a service like that. So
yeah. Also, let me mention a number of times when I've had, let's say, a lot of work done on the house, whoever's doing the work, well, when I ask, do you take credit cards? They'll say, yeah, but with a 3% fee, let's say. And normally I say, okay, never mind. But if, I wouldn't recommend this necessarily for if you're going for like a Hilton free night, but if you have that +3 offer from the referral, then, well, I still wouldn't do it with Hilton, but with any of these others where the points are worth a lot more than a penny each, then paying 3% is not a big deal, because because the points you get are going to be worth. You're going to get at least 4 points per dollar, and if the points are each worth more than a penny each, then you're doing much better than the cost. Okay,
right. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point with plastic payments in general. Other things that you can pay with plastic, because if you have that the +3, if you've referred somebody at 4 membership rewards points per dollar, if you're paying a fee of 2.85% to make a payment, I mean, it's not terrible. Then you're still coming out nicely ahead with at 4 membership rewards points per dollar. And if you're doing any better, if you got it on something that, like the everyday preferred, and you get 4.5 if you're doing your 30 or whatever the case might be, certainly could be worthwhile. So, I think that's one realm. That'd be a good way to ramp up spend. What else do we have?
So a new option. So if you have big bills where the vendor only takes Visa or MasterCard, a new option is to use that PayPal key, which shows up as a MasterCard, and you can use it online or over the phone. They say it doesn't work, but it does. And in the behind the scenes, you could tell PayPal Key, which is just a feature within PayPal, to charge your Amex card on the back end. So that's a really cool way to divert some spend that you would have been doing anyway to your Amex card when you wouldn't normally have been able to. What else? So there's some things that I've talked about before, like Kiva loans, where you can pay with a credit card to make loans, and eventually you'll get hopefully 100% of that back. You'll never earn profit from that, but you're helping out people in sort of third world countries who need a loan to get by. And a similar thing, but where you could make a profit, is something called Kick Further, where businesses will post basically their need for funding to meet a purchase order that they got. So they've made a sale, but they say in order to produce the goods for that sale, they need some startup capital, and you fund it, you get back an extra amount back if everything goes well, and you could also do that funding with a credit card. So those are a couple more that I can think of.
And when you talk about buying things also in the season of the year here, reselling products might be something that might be kind of appealing, especially if you've got that one of those referral offers, the +3, or you're going after a particular big spend bonus, then reselling items might be pretty interesting, especially with holiday sales coming up. We just had Prime Day this past week, and then of course we'll see Black Friday, Cyber Monday type sales, and those can represent opportunities sometimes to get quite big spend, and you might be able to get a lot of spend. And I always used to do a lot of this, and I figure if I made a small profit, 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever it might be, that's extra money in my pocket, and I was able to meet my spending goals. So that's something to keep an eye out for. There are some risks there. Obviously, you might sell something and it gets broken in the mail, or it gets scammed by somebody who says they didn't receive it. There are some risks to keep in mind, but it can certainly be a way to ramp up spend. I used to do a lot of very legit spend, just buying products and reselling them. So that can be a great technique, and it would be much more appealing with more points per dollar.
Yeah, and it has a side benefit of being a very legitimate business that you can use as the business that you sign up for credit cards with. So you have a nice little circle there. What you've done, at least in the past, quite a bit of reselling. Do you have any tips for doing it successfully?
The things that I've always talked about in the past are to pick things that you know something about, because when you're trying to buy and resell things and you don't know anything about it, you're going to dump a lot of time into trying to figure out what you need to know about it and answer questions, because people ask questions and then you got to look it up. You're like, I don't know where this is or that what size. Or, I got to look up the manual and try to figure this out. So try to pick things that you know something about. I always tell people to avoid electronics, and I say that as somebody who's bought and sold lots and lots of electronics, and they're super tempting because they're the thing that go on sale and thing that everybody wants. I always recommend against that, because those tend to be the things that also draw the greatest number of scammers who are interested in trying to steal your stuff. Now, that said, I've had very good success, and lots of people have too. I just say don't start there, because if the first thing you buy and sell is an expensive electronic like an iPad or an iWatch or Apple Watch or whatever it is, and somebody sends you back a counterfeit Apple Watch in the mail, and then you're left trying to fight that battle with them and PayPal and eBay or wherever it is you sold it, you're going to probably get discouraged pretty quickly on reselling anything. So that's why I normally tell people not to start there. If you want to branch out into that at some point, you can, once you can accept the risks that are involved there. Instead, what I always say is I try to pick things that people are very unlikely to return. And so, I used to sell a lot of small appliances, kitchen type appliances, Keurigs and KitchenAids and blenders and things like that, because people don't return those. They knew they wanted it, they bought it, they got it, and that's good. They're happy with it. So I did a lot of that. Now shipping has gotten a lot more expensive, so the smaller and lighter an item is, probably the better. The other two things that I always look for are low competition for me, and I mean that on both ends. An item that not many people are looking to buy, so I can get it cheaply, and an item that not many other people are selling, so that I can kind of control the market to some extent, and I can price things a little bit higher. So that isn't necessarily obvious all the time, but I often find that looking in places where you wouldn't expect to find whatever product it is that you're looking for can sometimes result in getting a great deal. There's been a number of times over the years where I've pointed out sometimes electronic items, for instance, that are being sold at like a department store where you would normally think of them selling high-end clothing or something. But oh, look, you can get GoPros and use this coupon code that they probably expected you to use on a Fendi handbag or something, but instead you use it on the GoPro and get yourself a good deal, and you're able to resell it. So those are some general tips there. But really, you got to just spend some time looking at deals and trying to find things that you see enough room to earn a profit on, and really have to take into consideration then whatever fees you're going to be paying, shipping fees, reselling fees, etc. So there is some complexity, but it can be fun too. I mean, if you just enjoy shopping, you kind of get a little bit of that retail therapy without any of the buyer's remorse. So
right.
that can be fun too.
And I guess there are some groups that are good to join too. I don't really know of any off the top of my head. I think Miles to Memories has one maybe.
I think they do, yeah.
Where you could get I think that'd be great if you're getting started, because you get help from others potentially. Hopefully they're nice to newbies. Because a lot could go wrong really easily.
A lot can go wrong, yeah. But then there's also buyers clubs. I mean, we wrote recently about the Mint coin deal through PFS Buyers Club. That was, and there are many. That's just why I didn't mean to plug them in the sense that I don't have any affiliation with them. That's just the one I happen to be most familiar with because I've done a number of their deals before. But there are buyers clubs out there where there'll be an item and they'll tell you, okay, buy this and you can lock in X amount of profit. And there's always, again, some risk there that maybe you won't get paid, but for instance, that recent Mint coin deal, I bought a couple of those and got paid as expected on that. So, and in those cases, sometimes you get an opportunity for quite a lot of spend. That recent Mint coin deal, the coin was $3,000 and I got a couple of them. So that was $6,000 in spend. And, it was a small profit. It was only $55 profit a coin, I think. So $110 profit plus the rewards on $6,000 spend from my couch without, very much effort. So
right.
Those can be opportunities.
That's pretty cool. What about, I've never even dipped my toes in this, but people have sometimes talked to me about these, I think maybe they're called something like secret shoppers, where you sign up to be a shopper and you basically go to a restaurant or to a store or even travel, like to a hotel or wherever, and you pay yourself and then they reimburse you for everything.
Right.
And I guess you have to write up a review. So there's some sort of like creative things like that.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, there are some apps out there where you can do that kind of thing. I actually was test driving one for a little bit. I don't know though. I haven't looked at it lately. I'm not sure what the status of that stuff is post pandemic here. But yeah, I would sometimes see opportunities to go review a hotel, and it not even a review in the sense that you're thinking. There are specific questions they would give you, like, for example, you could go to the desk without your ID and see if you can get a key to get back in your room, or they're trying to test to make sure the employees are doing the right things. And so restaurants, it would often be you have to order one entree and one appetizer and one alcoholic drink, and you can't customize things, and you have to go to the bathroom and make sure it's clean, and report on all of those different things. There are a lot of details, but yeah, there are secret shopping type opportunities like that. And if you just take some Googles out there, you might find some of those types of apps. And those could be ways certainly to ramp up a little bit of spend if they're still available out there, because sometimes they were fairly expensive. You get reimbursed for a meal that was a couple $100 or a tour. I saw some things that were 3, 4, 5. Actually, I have a family member that did like a luau in Hawaii, and I think it was like $500 or so that they got reimbursed for the luau. So you might be able to find those types of things in the right cities.
Now, you, just a little over a month ago, you did something that is guaranteed to increase opportunities for spend.
All you have to do is have another kid. So have a baby, and there's lots of opportunities for spend there. But yeah, I mean, we talked about how I spent money on buying college gift cards in order to fund my son's education in the future. Although I don't know if I would.
That might be a little risky with Amex.
With an Amex, that'd be a little risky. It'd be a little risky, and I should mention this now, and I need to make an update after I chat with Amex and check on this, but I noticed, because I did use my Amex to pay for gas at Cumberland Farms, which is the gas station chain where I bought the gift to college cards.
Right.
And even though it says gas on the statement. I noticed that it's only getting 2x points on the business card. It should be getting 4 plus the extra 6 for the current gas station bonus.
This is a business Bonvoy card? Is that
business Bonvoy card, and it didn't get the gas station bonus.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it might not get the 10x there.
Right. That's interesting because, you know, we've noticed with 7-Eleven, for example, that even though it often isn't a gas station, it often, with at least Visa and MasterCard's codes as a gas station. But I've been told by others, I haven't tried it myself, that Amex doesn't necessarily code as a gas station when you buy things from 7-Eleven. So it may be similar issue there that it's treating Cumberland Farms as a convenience store or something. But
I guess
it's a little odd that this was at the pump though that you paid. Or
it was at the pump.
Store?
No,
Wow, that's really weird because I think they even have different codes for, at least for Visa and MasterCard, for pay at the pump.
I think so. And the odd thing was that I had a gas fill up at a different place, and it coded at the expected 4x because the Amex Bonvoy business card earns 4x on gas. So I was like, oh, it earned 4x. But then I looked at the details, and it said that it was dining or dining. It said it was a restaurant or something. Didn't make any sense. So I need to chat and do a little bit more research there. But so that was one thing I did, but I don't know if I would buy any gift cards. And I don't even know that you will get the bonus on that specifically, even if you were in New York and had the ability to do it. However, paying the hospital bill is certainly something that is going to earn me a lot of points. So paying bills like that, and I not only do that for myself, but I make it very clear to family members that when they have large bills, I would like to help with those. So I often will pay off large bills for family members and have them reimburse me for things, which is something you may or may not have available to you, but it's sometimes worth saying something. And in fact, my mother-in-law drives a GM vehicle, and she loves to get her service done at the GM dealership. Don't ask me why. She overspends on that, I think. But I just saw this week that there was a Chase offer that came out for 10% back at the GM dealer. And I said, hey, planning on getting any service anytime soon? Because there's an offer for 10% back. So I often offer those types of things. That's not an Amex specific one, but I often look out for those opportunities to be able to help friends and family members save a few bucks and earn myself some points in the process.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And, just going back to about having kids, I mean, the opportunity for spend doesn't stop when they're children. So I get to pay for, college tuition and rent and helping him with his car. So plenty of opportunities.
Plenty of expenses for a long time.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Can certainly help you max out some bonus categories and meet a couple of new sign up bonuses, I'm sure.
Right. So, I don't think we have like a magic bullet, like here's a super easy thing you can do that would magically, get to where you can do hundreds of thousands of dollars and spend a month. But I think when you put all these things together, I think it can really add up pretty big. And
I'll add, we've talked about paying taxes, and we talked about how, if you pay more than what you owe, you get a refund. And so there may be other opportunities like that I haven't even thought about, that maybe readers have thought about.
Sure.
Where again, if you happen to overpay something, you might end up getting a refund for
right. And the key is it has to be a place that will refund it to your bank account or some other way, which the IRS will do. But a lot of places, if you, get a refund, they'll just refund it right back to your credit card. So that's not going to help you.
No, that won't help you. But I just recently, I was making payments for a family member's bill through plastic because I happen to have a lot of fee-free dollars because we write about it at the blog. So I use plastic more than would make sense for many readers. But I didn't realize that the bill was over and done with, and I continued to let it pay. And then, the family member called me up to say, hey, it's that's paid off and done, and you don't need to keep paying it. And I was like, oh shoot, well, I just paid it. And sure enough, they sent a check back. So, you never know. It depends on the type of bill and the type of place and the type of thing you're paying, but you may find some opportunity there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. Are you ready to move on to the next segment?
Well, I have a feeling that I've got it coming for me here. So I know that there are some readers who are waiting with bated breath for the post roast today.
Post roast.
Right. Post roast is here.
People read your post this morning and thought, oh, good, Greg's going to roast this.
They did. They did think that. And they were wrong, weren't they?
They were wrong. No, Kind of. I don't really have a harsh roast for your post. I actually I read a lot of it wondering like why is he only so just as a summary. So uh, the post we're talking about of Nick's was him writing about planning to do a 30-night Hyatt mattress run where he would book a $2,000 stay and go through some machinations to make it so that he's paying with points, even though it's a cash stay, and sort of justifying to himself and his wife how this actually makes sense, right?
Right. Essentially, that pulls it all together.
Right. So the first half I read of your post, I kept thinking, why is he only valuing the suite upgrade certificates as opposed to all the other benefits of globalist status? Sorry, and but then you got to the point of that eventually where you said, you could always have a friend book it for you as a globalist, a guest of honor stay, so you'd get all the globalist benefits, or you could book through Hyatt Privé. I mean, I'm not sure if you laid out all the ways, but basically there's other ways you could get the benefits of globalist status during a stay, but you can't get that suite upgrade those other ways. Now you could have done an analysis. I don't think you did, but
I didn't. I know you're going to go on this.
Of like how many points would it cost to upgrade to a suite when you need it. Now, when I've looked at that before, you have to make assumptions about how many nights you'd stay, and if it's a point stay, what category hotel it is, and things like that. So you have to make assumptions, but it doesn't take long for the suite upgrade certificate to be worth a lot, because paying for a suite with points or with point upgrades gets expensive very quickly. So I'm not gonna roast you for that either.
Well, and Greg just proved that recently, right? With the Ventana thing, we talked about it on here, when you were able to rebook and get a standard room and use one of your suite upgrades, and saved you like 80,000 points.
It was a lot. Stay. Yeah.
80,000 points for one of those suite upgrade awards. So those are huge.
Yeah. I think it saved 18,000 points a night, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It was 18,000 a night, and you were 4 nights. Of course, you didn't end up getting to go. I don't mean to rub salt in the wound there, but right. It would have saved you almost 80,000 points.
It's like if a tree falls in a forest, does it make any sound? Is this a great award redemption, even if I didn't get to go?
Didn't get to go, yeah.
I don't know.
It felt like it.
It did, especially when they added the 25% rebate on points awards on top of it.
Now you're rubbing salt in your own wound.
Yeah, that was tough. Anyway,
that wasn't what you were going to roast.
No, but I thought I'd point out what I was going to roast until I read your whole post. That's some nice rhymes going on here. I'm feeling Dr. Seussy. No, I guess the roast is more of a, if you step back a little bit, say no matter how you change the wording and talk about how you're going to use points to pay, whatever, no matter what, the you're going to pay, if you go through with this, over $2,000 for a stay, which 95% of the time you're not going to use the stay at all.
Right.
And so
that's accurate. It's true.
If you were just sort of looking at a big picture, saying, is it worth it for me to buy Hyatt Globalist status for $2,000+? Would you actually do it?
I mean, my wife would never let me. No. Hands down, no. That's why I got to use the points to justify this. No, the points make it kind of fun to do these crazy things that I definitely wouldn't do it with the cash. And I know that anybody who read that post and is following along with how it works knows that it really is cash that I'm using, because I could use that cash for anything else. So it's a very good point. I wouldn't, if it didn't feel like I was using funny money. Even though Greg's spreadsheet showed that I should use cash instead of points, I would be more inclined to book it as an award stay than I would to take actual cash out of the bank, so to speak, to pay for it. Cashing out the points feels a little bit less like cash, even though it still is. But on the flip side, I will say I wouldn't do it. However, I don't necessarily think it would be crazy still, because all right, I happen to need 2 of the nights that I'm going to be booking this 30-night stay. So let's value those about $100 each, because it's just a road trip one night.
Sure.
So
okay.
about $200 of that money is money that I was going to spend anyway, more or less. So it's really like almost $1,900. So I get 4 suite upgrades. So we're talking then what, 450, 416 and 4. That's not quite enough, as that's 18. Like 475. I'm paying somewhere around 475 per suite upgrade. So each of those suite upgrades, $475. Now, I'm sure that a lot of people out there are saying, oh, I wouldn't pay $475 for the suite upgrade. But if I use each of them for at least 4 nights, I'm paying a little over $100 a night for a suite, on top of whatever the award redemption is. And a lot of the places I like to stay with Hyatt, I probably would spend $100 and change a night now with 2 kids. I wouldn't have done it when we were married with no kids. I wouldn't have done it when I was single, for sure. But now with 2 kids, I probably would be willing to spend a little over $100 a night to get a suite at a Park Hyatt or a Grand Hyatt over a standard room in a lot of cases. So,
all right, you ready for the real roast now?
All right, go ahead, roast it.
Now that you're going to be traveling with 2 little kids, you ought to be thinking Hyatt Place, not Park Hyatt.
Well, see, most of my stays are either Hyatt Place or Park Hyatt. They're like one end or the other end. I don't do a lot of like the middle tier Hyatts, which is something that came up in today's post, where somebody said, why do 30 nights as a mattress run? Surely you'll have some organic stays next year.
Right.
You don't need to do 30 nights as a mattress run. I mean, do like 20 or 25 or something. You're probably going to get 5, 10, 15 actual stays next year and earn yourself Globalist status. Except the thing is, those 5 or 10 nights of actual stays, or 15 or whatever it might be, are generally places where I want the Globalist benefits. And I'm rarely staying at a place that the only Globalist benefit that I want is the lounge upgrade awards. So,
all right. So are you gonna actually do it? It sounded from the post like you're going to book this thing and do it, right?
I've already booked it. So I think I'm going to do it. I say I think because there's a lot that's up in the air over the next couple of months, and a lot of different realms. And so I think I'm going to do it because I think I'm going to need this night. I think I'm going to take a road trip, and I think I'm going to pass by the hotel on a certain night that I need to check in. So there's a lot of I thinks there. So yes, I intend to do it. I've verbally committed to doing it. So barring any changes that are unexpected, I probably will. I mentioned, I think in the post, I'm looking at spending part of the holidays with family. And so there's going to be this road trip involved in that. And every time we get in the car now with a toddler and a baby, we look at each other and say, we got to fly, I guess, right? Like, I don't know if I could do that long in the car. But then, we think about flying and we say, oh, we can't fly, right? We're not interested in flying right now with 2 kids. And blah, 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 a lot of complexity. So I plan to do it.
All right. So, all right. My prediction, and I thought you made a good case for it. I'm not putting that down. All right. My prediction, you are going to do it. And that your first 10 nights of Hyatt stays next year are going to be in category 1 or 2 hotels, or
where there's no benefit at all of that in Globalist status. Wasted all this money. It's certainly something to think about. And if I had any of those types of stays that I expected or even remotely thought I might do, I would adjust downward. I mean, I definitely think that's a good point people have made. If you think you're going to have any of those days in early 2021, then save yourself some money on the mattress run if you're doing this mattress running. So
right. Now, I'll further predict that when you realize you're about to book those category 1 or 2s, and that Greg would have been right, you're going to change up and book a Hilton or Marriott.
Right. Category 1. It's probably true. All right.
Do you have a roast for me?
No, I don't have a roast for you. So I know I thought I was going to get
the audience is practically crying.
Oh, I hear it all at once there.
They're like, didn't you read his post on Monday or Wednesday or whenever it was?
I did, but I don't have anything to roast this week. What can I say? Sometimes Greg does a good job, guys. So more often than not. So this week there's no roast, but I'm going to move right into the question of the week, which is still on the Hyatt thing. So that's part of the reason I'm not going to roast you too, so that we can transition right into this, because a number of people mentioned something I want to throw out there and see what you think about. They've mentioned some variation on this. So Dave, on that post that I wrote about Mattress running Hyatt Globalist status, said, having committed to this Mattress run Globalist pursuit, the Hyatt credit card would obviously benefit you substantially going forward. I assume you're not getting it because you're over 524. If so, have you considered asking Ms. Nick to get the card? That's my wife, to get the card and pursuing status in her name, assuming that she's under 524. So should I be getting the Hyatt credit card, Craig? Should one of us be getting, whoever's going to do this Mattress run, should we be getting, because if you get that, you're going to get some nights towards status, right?
Yeah. Do you, are you both under, or is one of you under
524?
Both under?
Both under 520. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So it's so interesting because if you think of it as a point stay, it's sort of easier to do the math. Like if you're thinking about doing 30 nights at 5,000 points a night, what's that? 150,000 points. But once you have the credit card, you don't need to do quite as many. So let's call it 130,000 just to make it simpler. And then you would get back 10% more points than you would have, right? So you'd get back 13,000 points more than, so you're saving those 13,000 plus the 20,000 points that get you from, that you would have had to spend to do the full 30 nights, which you don't have to do because the credit card gives you some nights. So, so what are we at now? We're at 33,000 points saved. This is compared to an all points stay just because the math's easier that way. Plus you get the sign up bonus, which is 50,000 points. So you're talking about 83,000. So that's pretty good. And of course you get the benefit of in future, you'll be able to qualify for more of these type of promotions, and you'll be able to spend your way to incremental status levels when you're close to hitting a elite status and not quite there. So I think there's a lot to be said for getting it. The one and only argument I'd say against it is that we predicted that Hyatt was going to come out with a better offer in response to all these Marriott offers. So.
And this is the part of the show where I tell you that we were right, but we didn't know how soon we would be right, because the offer did in fact change on that card the next day after we recorded this, and now it comes with 10 elite nights this year and 10 elite nights next year. So the rest of this conversation where we talk about how we'd wait for a better offer, well, that time has come, and that does change things a little bit. So keep that in mind and see the show notes for links to the post about the new offer on the World of Hyatt credit card.
If it was me, I'd say I'll wait about a month or so, or however long is sort of reasonable to know that once you sign up, you'll get the card in time for the stay, and then sign up. If the offer gets bigger before that, go ahead and sign up for that bigger offer. That's my thing.
So there's another piece on the argument for getting it that I think is complementary but separate, and that's, let's forget about the award stay standpoint for a second. Let's say I was still going to pay for the stay because you get, 5 elite nights with the credit card. I would need 5 fewer nights.
You'd save money there, and you would also, you would need 2.5 fewer nights because of the doubling.
Right. So I'd only save 2 nights there. So it's not necessarily, a large.
But you'll have 2 more nights from meeting the spend for the minimum spend. So the spend, the minimum spend on the credit card is 6,000. Every 5,000, you get 2 elite nights. So you're going to save at least 3 nights off this Mattress run maybe more if you do more spend, like if you go all the way to 10,000 spend or whatever. But
or all the way to 15 for the free night certificate, then you'd end up with 6 nights
right.
there.
So it's a little hard
to 11 nights
to model it exactly, but it definitely saves you. And then you would earn 4 points per dollar instead of the 3 with the Sapphire Preferred for paying for the stay as well. So that's
right. It's a couple
that's
thousand
pretty
points
nice
there too. Yeah, I mean, I think there are definitely some good arguments for getting it. Now, my argument against getting it, beyond the fact that I do agree with Greg that I think we'll probably see a better bonus. So I would wait right now, at least for a little bit, to see if that better bonus comes around, because Chase hasn't been as good about matching bonuses as they used to be. So you kind of have to wait if you think it's going to go up. But the other thing, I am not as bullish on the Hyatt credit card long term as most bloggers are. I think that it certainly has a place and it can be a very good card. I think that the $15K spend for a category 1 to 4 certificate is worth doing if you have the card. I'm not necessarily super excited about another category 1 to 4 type certificate, especially because I find Chase Ultimate Rewards points so easy to manufacture spend that 15,000 points is not hard for me to pick up. So I'm not as excited about the category 1 to 4 cert as some people would be for spend. And then on top of all that, it is a great card if you're naturally going to be close to hitting status with Hyatt, and that little bit of spend or the 15K spend there can help you. But realistically, I don't think I'll get anywhere near requalifying for Hyatt again. I mean, I don't typically spend 60 nights per year in hotels, or 55 nights per year in hotels, or 50 nights per year in hotels. I pick up status by gaming other things that I can, and I'm not going to do enough spend, I don't think, to bridge the gap.
What I would love to see you do a fair amount of manufactured spend, and so what I'd love to see you do is take the same analysis you did for this mattress run to say, like, how much are these sweet upgrade awards worth to you, and say and figure out how much return would you get on manufacturing spend on the Hyatt card in out years. Obviously, if you did this mattress run now, you wouldn't need to do that until 2022. But it it very well might be worth it. So I'd be interested in seeing that. Maybe that's a future post for you.
Maybe. So interesting. You guys gave us some things to think about there. I thought it was a good question and a good topic to bring up anyway, to consider that card. If you're going to be going after this mattress run, you don't have it and you qualify for it, it may be a tool that you want to use. I was not totally convinced initially, but the more I'm thinking about it now, and maybe it is a good idea. So we'll have to do some more math and run some more numbers on that. So my friends, I think that brings us to the end for this week. So if you enjoyed today's conversation and you'd like to read more about what we've been talking about, you can go to thefrequentmiler.com/subscribe to get on our email list, so you get all of next week's posts right away. And then you'll know all of what we're talking about when the podcast comes around next weekend. So get on our list and follow us on Twitter and join our Facebook group and connect with us in all the multitude of ways there are. So again, that's thefrequentmiler.com/subscribe. Thank you guys for being out there listening. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to this wherever it is that you're listening, watching, or otherwise engaging.
Yeah, seriously, we appreciate every single thumbs up click or comment or whatever you can do.
But not those thumbs down clicks. We don't appreciate
No,
those.
Don't like those at all. I know some of you are tempted just because we said that, but don't do it.
Don't do it.
Or if you have to do it, then click it again to undo it.
To undo it.
Feel free to get that itch out, but please undo it before you go away. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.